In pro wrestling, and life for that matter, it's best not to burn bridges with people. There's always hope for a situation to get better, and it's generally a good idea to not piss off those who would hire you. This being wrestling though, crazy things happen, and sometimes performers leave a burning ash of what was once a bridge behind. Here are 10 wrestlers who left WWE on bad terms. Hulk Hogan. While it would be easy to include Hogan on this list for his release due to his racist soundbites coming to light in 2015, Hogan actually left WWE on bad terms once before. Back in 1993, Hulk Hogan would leave the WWE due to him still thinking that he was a big star and McMahon thinking otherwise. Worse yet, Hogan would compare the WWF title as a toy to the New Japan Pro Wrestling title and testify against McMahon in court. Zara Schreiber. By far the most unknown entity on this list, Zara Schreiber would have likely stayed unknown if not for being in an affair with WWE star Seth Rollins. But how she left the company ensured that she is never to return again. On her Instagram page, fans discovered that Schreiber had photos of Nazi imagery, and understandably people were a little bit pissed off. Schreiber tried to defend herself, but it wasn't happening. And when the internet took notice of these old images, WWE promptly released her. Randy Savage. Whatever conspiracy theories might exist about him and Stephanie McMahon, Randy Savage's exit is not as dramatic as some of you may think. That's not to say it wasn't on bad terms. In 1994, Savage was mostly relegated to the commentary booth, but the Macho Man still yearned to be in the ring. When Vince told him his time was past, Savage left Vince to prove him wrong in WCW. McMahon obviously took this as a personal insult, and Savage never appeared in WWE again. Lex Luger. The first shot in the Monday Night Wars didn't come from Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, or even Hulk Hogan. It was Lex Luger. In 1995, Luger's WWE contract was coming to an end. Luger gave his word to Vince McMahon though that he would remain loyal to him and not sign with rival WCW. In fact, his word was the only thing he had, as he was working without a contract. His word seemingly meant nothing though, as Luger ended up appearing on WCW TV a day after wrestling a WWE house show. Stone Cold. In an alternate universe, Stone Cold Steve Austin could have disappeared from WWE television forever in 2002. Let's just say that 2002 was not a good year for Austin. His status as a top star was starting to slip, and health and personal problems were piling up. It all came to a head when the Rattlesnake quit the company after refusing to lose to Brock Lesnar on Raw. WWE ran a hatchet job against Austin, and during his time away, he was arrested for domestic abuse. After all that, it's amazing that Austin came back only months later. Jeff Jarrett. It's a pretty good rule of thumb that if you try to push Vince McMahon into giving you more money, you're likely not going to be seen in his company, especially if you're a mid-carder. In October 1999, Jeff Jarrett would wrestle his last match in WWE against China, losing his Intercontinental title. The twist though is that Jarrett's contract expired one day before that title defense, and allegedly demanded a hefty payoff for one night of work. And you know what? Had his contract lasted one day longer, TNA likely wouldn't have happened. Brock Lesnar. The Beast takes his foes to Suplex City, and also to court. Until he returned in 2012, Brock Lesnar's WWE career was over at WrestleMania 20. He tried out for the NFL and also tried wrestling shows in Japan, but his WWE contract prevented him from doing so. Challenging WWE's no-compete clause in court, Lesnar sued the WWE in 2005. Both sides eventually settled, and Lesnar was allowed to wrestle in Japan. We don't imagine anyone but Lesnar doing this and then being welcomed back. Ultimate Warrior. Take your pick, we have 3 to choose from here. The first of Warrior's departures came in 1991, when he and Vince failed to agree on a deal which would have seen Warrior making Hulk Hogan-esque money. The second came in 1992, when he failed a drug test around the time Vince McMahon was under federal investigation for steroid distribution. The third came in 1996, when he no-showed events to attend his father's funeral, a father that he had practically zero relationship with. Take your pick into which one is worse. Bret Hart. In 2010, Bret Hart returned to Monday Night Raw after more than a decade of absence. While some younger fans may not have gotten it, the fact of that moment happening at all was astounding. At Survivor Series 1997, Bret Hart was to wrestle Shawn Michaels to a double disqualification, but for reasons way too lengthy to explain here, basically he was just screwed over by Vince McMahon. Hart would smash television monitors, spell WCW for the crowd, and also uppercutted McMahon backstage. Getting away with punching the boss? Hart really is the best there is. CM Punk. CM Punk never does anything small. He becomes WWE champion and holds it longer than anyone since Hulk Hogan. He wants to fight in MMA? He goes to the UFC. He leaves WWE? He does it in spectacular fashion. Fed up with the company's crap and fearing for his health, Punk left the WWE in January 2014 and only provided answers as to why later that year. In his explanation, he tore apart several people in the company and is now currently in a lawsuit against them. Despite the hopes that he will return one day, it'll likely never happen. And that's it for our list. Which WWE wrestler burned his bridge with the company the most in your opinion? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Sportster. See ya!